The purpose today is to have the students who participate in these various programs talk a bit about their summer fellowships and programs pretty quickly, because we want to break this open and kind of have you circulate and talk more one-on-one with the students. Before we begin, though, if you've been to a Politics in a Pint before, we have these very fancy pint glasses this year. And like the National Press Club, when they give out the coveted cup, we now give out the coveted pint glass to each of our presenters. And you only get one of these if you present. So, you know, you can aspire to this someday. But you take one and pass it on. Very good. So anyway, with that, we do have a couple of the representative posters from the Jackson Fellowship Program. And Mara, no. Maybe you'll talk a bit later, but no, okay. Britt,
okay.
Why don't you each student introduce yourself? I know Britt has to hit the road shortly, so we're going to turn to Britt first.
Okay. Hi, I'm Brittany Werner. I'm a senior, and then this summer I was part of the Brandel program at the Citizens League. So I basically worked at the Citizens League pretty much every day this summer, researching electrical energy for them. And yeah, that's basically my story. So.
Hold on. John Brandel, Citizens League. Why do we have the Citizens League?
Well, John Brandel was pretty involved in the early Citizens League. I know he was really involved in they passed something with charter schools that he was really involved in. So that was he was big into that organization. So this summer we'll have 5 Brandel scholarships. 3 will be for Washington, D.C. program. 1 is a recurring internship at the Citizens League. Right. So thanks, Britt, and you're excused to run off to your next engagement.
Yeah. All right. Whoa, okay. I'm Mary Baumgard. I was part of the DC Summer Study Program. I'm a junior, and I interned with the National Women's Political Caucus, which is a nonprofit that works to achieve gender parity in politics. Okay. Should I go? Okay. My name is Julia Renner. I'm a senior political science major. I'm also the DC student worker this year, so if anyone's been getting all those emails, they're from me. So this summer I was living in DC. I worked at a nonprofit education organization that worked with low-income students in the DC area, just as a college preparatory program. Yeah.
Okay, I want to DC folks real quick. So you have these full-time internships. What else do you do in 30 seconds or less?
Yeah, so you're working full-time, but also as part of the program, you attend seminars that are set up by your lovely directors, and a lot of them are with either St. Ben St. John's alum or other political officials in DC. You get to either have lunch or dinner or just a different meeting with them, kind of learn about how they got to the position that they got to. It's a really great networking device. You get to meet such a wide variety of people that live and work out in DC and kind of see the variety of what you can do with the major that you have and all the different opportunities out there.
Thanks. And one other thing that makes the DC program unique is that it's 8 credits. And you live in a
That's true.
communal environment. All right, let's keep moving down the panel.
Hello, my name is Adia Zeman. I am a senior communication major, and this past summer, and currently I am a Jackson Fellow. I spent my summer working at Lyric Arts Company, which is a nonprofit community theater in Anoka. Because I'm interested in communication, I spent most of my time there working on marketing and PR. I did a lot of social media work for them, writing a lot of press releases, but I also helped out with some event planning. We had a big mural project that we did at the theater that I spent the summer promoting, creating a marketing plan for, and doing some community outreach work as well. So that was the primary part of my summer. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really passionate about theater and about access to the arts, so that was something that I knew I wanted to incorporate. But all the Jackson Fellows work at some sort of social justice site, and not just strictly because my theater is a nonprofit. It doesn't necessarily automatically make them a social justice site, but the site that I was working at really strives to provide access to the arts and access to theatrical opportunities for people in the northern suburbs at an affordable price. They do a variety of workshops and outreach and educational experiences that are very low cost or free for the community to participate in. They do a variety of community building things as well. So, and because they're a community theater, anyone can be involved in being in the show, making the show happen, volunteering at the theater. So there are a lot of different ways that it creates opportunities for people to experience the arts and for people to have access to the arts as a form of not only entertainment, but as a benefit to the community.
Hi, I'm Evan Lauder, and in addition to being, I'm a senior political science psychology major. In addition to being a Jackson Fellow this past summer, I am also a recipient of the Robeson Scholarship for students of public policy for this year. The Robeson Scholarship is, like it says, a scholarship for CSB students who are interested in public policy and civic engagement. You receive a $2,500 to $5,000 scholarship for the academic school year. And as part of this scholarship, myself and Kelsey Reiner, who's the other recipient for this year, we're planning a variety of study tours and also discussion groups throughout the course of this year. So you may have seen the article in the Record last week about the homelessness tour that we led to the St. Paul area. So that's just one of the ways that we're kind of trying to get the student body interested in issues of public policy.
Just to clarify or add on to that too, the Robeson is available only for St. Ben students who are majoring in political science, economics, sociology, and peace studies. So think about applying if you're fall into that category. Jennifer.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Stevenson. I am a senior majoring in social science with a minor in secondary education. And this summer, I worked as a Jackson Fellow with the Children's Museum of South Dakota in Brookings, South Dakota. That's a site that we have as part of the Jackson Fellowship program every single year, starting not me, but the Jackson Fellow the summer before. As part of this program, or this particular internship, I did a variety of things at the museum, from working on the floor with the children, to helping out with special events, to planning demonstrations that will teach the children about history, to helping with the research project, so a whole variety of things. And throughout the summer, we also had meetings as Jackson Fellows back here at St. Ben's, and to learn about leadership and to learn about different leadership skills, grant writing, fundraising, marketing, etc., from some pretty inspirational people here at St. Ben's and St. John's, and also from the community around us. And then the program also continues this year. The 10 Jackson Fellows are currently beginning, we meet every month for meetings to continue our leadership development, and we also are in the beginning stages of planning a service project of some sort that will be a culminating project to what we have learned throughout this experience. So keep your eyes out for what we do next semester.
Thank you very much. We're going to promote Dan Wogemont back up on the panel. Dan, you've done a couple of programs. Tell us what they are and add anything.
Well, I'd like to speak to those out there. If anyone's interested in participating in a political office, through my Jackson Fellowship, I had the opportunity to intern in Al Franken's office in St. Cloud. And then through the DC internship program, I had the opportunity to intern with Congressman Tim Walz. And so for anyone interested in participating in those programs, I worked in those offices, and a lot of it has to do with talking to constituents, doing research on legislative issues. So if there's a particular issue that you have an interest in, such as the environment or immigration or any of those things, it's a great opportunity to learn more about that, all the while getting paid to do it, which is what happens through the Brandel and the Jackson Fellowship.
All right, question. What we're going to do is, could we get a volunteer? Drew, you want to grab a microphone and work that side of the audience? I believe there's a question in the back. Professor Woolsborne.
So I'm thinking that all of you are very energetic and articulate and accomplished. And does that mean that shy, hesitant people need not apply? Or did some of that skill development occur as a result of those experiences? She led with that.
Props to Professor Woolsborne, who directed the Washington program for many, well, I don't know what, 10 years, 12, a few years prior to the current occupants. So, yeah. So let's answer her question.
I'd say that yes, it does contribute. The different experiences that you have as a Jackson Fellow, as a participant in the DC internship program, a lot of it is geared towards networking. A lot of it is geared towards how you present yourself. A lot of it is geared towards having that confidence to be able to do what it is you need to do. So yes, I'd say that that these programs with the seminars, with the meetings, really do a lot to give you the kind of skills and confidence that you need to be able to present yourself.
Yeah, I definitely agree with what Dan said. I mean, I went to DC one person and I came back another. I think there's some, specifically with the DC program, there's something about living in DC for 2 to 2.5 months and having to learn to live in an urban environment, which for me personally at least was a new experience. And so that, in addition to all of the professional workshop type things that you do over the summer, really contributed to who I am today.
Yeah, I guess I would agree with that as well. Kind of piggyback off what they have already said, but I think a lot of it comes down to personal growth, and a lot of that comes from confidence. And I think the DC program, for me, more than anything else, just really showed me my passion for education, and therefore the confidence that I have within where I want to go in my life, and therefore I think that's just really developed my skills professionally and personally as well.
I just say that the only people who need not apply are those who don't happen to have any passion, and I think that that's very few people, but all these programs, the only prerequisite I think that I would definitely say that every one of these programs requires is that you have passion about something, whatever that something be. For me, it was theater and access to the arts, but for other people in our Jackson Fellowship, it was law, or it was children, or it was mental health for Evan. And it's the same with Brandel and with the DC program, I know as well. So if you have something that you care about and that you're passionate about, and that this is the perfect tool to make that happen. All of the other stuff can be learned, can be taught, and are things that you work on, but passion is what you need to come into this any of these programs with.
All right, you don't have to, okay. Let's move on. Other questions? We do want to keep this open for some questions, so please don't be shy. And even if you've done a program, maybe you want to ask a question to...
So what is the advantage of these programs for after you graduate your professional careers? How do they benefit you in any way?
Okay, personal experience. I've actually just got placed in Teach for America, and I can contribute that completely to my internship in DC. It's such a unique opportunity that a lot of people haven't had, and I was able to work with the population in which I'll be working with for the next 2 years. So I think professionally it developed my resume a ton, and the experiences that I've had, as well as personally, and I was really able to talk in my interview a lot about my internship in DC and how that has affected my perspective and what I want to do with my life as well. So personal experience.
Anyone else want to respond to that?
For those of you who are interested in graduate school, especially more research-based programs, through my internship with the Jackson Fellows program at the Ramsey County Mental Health Court, I've been able to kind of make a connection there and actually get access to data from the court, and so I'm applying that to my research this semester for my honors thesis, and that's going to be a very valuable experience to put on my resume for graduate school application. So I'd say you don't really think about, a service internship as being affiliated with research, but, just keep that in mind that, if you're interested in graduate school, that's definitely a possibility, and it can be very advantageous.
Another thing that's interesting to think about is, or good to think about, is the fact that these programs can really help you gauge what you're interested in as far as a career. I came into this experience very interested in considering museum studies as a potential career. And so it was absolutely perfect that I had the opportunity to work in a museum and fall in love with what I was doing there. And as an education minor, I really am going to be able to take the lessons about active learning into my classroom next semester student teaching. So it applies to what you want to do, it applies to what you might want to do. Even just the skills and the confidence, as has been mentioned, are invaluable for work experience.
Thank you. Question here? Okay.
I have a question that could probably be geared toward Washington, D.C. or Jackson Fellows. I think that it's really cool that you can kind of design your own program, it sounds like, or what you're interested in. You can do that. And I think it's kind of overwhelming, at least for me right now, to kind of develop a site list and kind of figure out exactly what you want to do. And I was wondering if anybody could give tips, suggestions, helpful hints to that.
I know with my own site list, I had about probably 4 different kind of subgroups of topics. It wasn't all just one area. I had a legislative kind of group of potential sites. I had a women's issues group. I had journalism, and then I had kind of a catch-all. I couldn't put it in either of those categories. And I think you just have to, for me at least, I just applied to them all. And I did a phone interview with the caucus, and I just felt like that would be a good place for me, and I jumped and went for it. So I think just kind of keep your options open, and then I don't want to be cheesy, but you kind of know once you do all the applications and everything, you kind of know which ones you're actually hoping for, and you'll know where you want to go once you go through the process.
Adia looks like she's...
I would just give you the advice of dream big, and that sounds really cheesy as well, but at least I know for Jackson there are very, very few social justice sites that if you approach them and say, I'm considering working for you full-time this summer at no cost to you, that will say, I don't think that's really something we're looking for. It just doesn't happen. Essentially, you're the one interviewing sites. You're in the driver's seat, at least for Jackson, I know that's how it was. So don't rule things out. Don't think that something is too big or too massive that you can't approach someone and ask to work with them this summer because they're prestigious or for whatever reason. There were a lot of our sites that our Jacksons worked with this summer that had requirements that their interns had to be graduate level students or things like that. But when it was someone who had made it into a prestigious program, was able to say, I can be here, I'll be dedicated to your program as a full-time employee at no cost to you, they were willing to have an incredible, they were willing to take them on and had an incredible experience in an internship they otherwise wouldn't have. So I would just take a good hard look at what you really care about, what means a lot to you, and then think of any possible way and the biggest way possible that you could get involved in that and go for the top.
Yeah, my question really tags off of that one very closely, actually. So it sounds like it's really cool to have an internship. Sounds like that'd be a lot of fun to do. And I'm just wondering if you can comment on the actual process of applying for these internships. Adia, you touched on it briefly. Mary, you touched a little bit on it also. But is there like a set process that every student needs to go through in order to find an internship or even get that internship?
I can talk for DC. This is very specific. DC, we send out packets for the applications. Those that are applying are creating a site list, and we will be sending out application packets for each of the sites that you wish to apply. And containing in that will be a director's cover letter, kind of explaining the program that you're in, It'll have your writing sample, your cover letter, resume, and then 3 letters of recommendation. So we'll put that all together for you for the program and then send them out. It's a really, they look really neat, and they, like, the application or the internship sites really enjoy it. They also like knowing that you're a part of a program because they know that you're here, you're getting academic credit for it, you're going to be here all summer, you're not just going to quit halfway through, you know, so it's really advantageous to you, I guess, as well, to be a part of a program like this. So it is a lot of work, the applications for next semester. You'll be applying to anywhere from, well, I guess, as little as 1. I think Dan replied to 1. A lot of people apply to, someone a couple years ago applied to like 40. So in that, it is a lot of work in the sense of you're writing a cover letter for each individual site. You're putting the packet together. You're making sure it's specific to the organization that you're sending it to. But, I mean, the fact you're doing it in the best possible way of sending it together in this packet in a really organized fashion and really giving the organization a full picture of what kind of applicant you are. So that's a little bit of information about the program.
We have a comment here.
Yeah, I just wanted to my name is Madeline Page, and I did the DC internship last summer, and then I had done I did an internship the summer before as well back home. But I wanted to comment on making the site list. When I was making my site list, I didn't choose to put a lot of things on there, and I think that was a mistake. And putting, when you commented to say like dream big, I think you should dream big, but also don't be afraid of places that you've never heard of before. I knew that I wanted to work in an environmental organization, so the things that first off popped into my head were like Sierra Club and Greenpeace, but when I ended up finding a littler, less known environmental organization, it was the best possible place that I think I could have been. So really do your research and find places that aren't like the name brand organization, because when you're not at those big places, you might be getting the work of an actual employee just because they are smaller and they don't have that employee role or like number of employees. So benefits too to choosing smaller places.
Great point. Do we have a couple? You want to add on to that?
Yeah, I'd like to add on to what Maddie just said. Kind of the exciting thing for you guys is that, you know, sure, you'll have all these sites, you'll go through everything, but one of the key things is just getting your foot in the door. You know, like Maddie said, don't be afraid to go for something you've never heard of, because not only will you learn from it, but you'll make connections through it. And I know for me, one of the very first things I did was I interned with a congressional campaign, Terrell Clark's campaign. It was your basic internship where pretty much anybody who wanted to do it could sign up, and we didn't really do the most, well, it was exciting, but not like exactly high-level, upper-tier campaign work, just the grassroots. But then from working hard in that internship and building up a reputation, I was then able to go and get an internship in Senator Franken's office, get a job managing a campaign, and then, you know, again, work hard, build up that reputation. And then from there, I was able to get a job in Congressman Tim Walz's office as somebody who wasn't even from that district, kind of not even from that state, from the state of Minnesota at the time. So when you work hard, you know, it all starts off with, you know, you just get your foot in the door, but then you work hard, you build a reputation, and you just build off of it and build off of it and build off of it. So it's really exciting for you guys. You're pursuing internships, and, you know, don't feel bad no matter where you wind up going, because you will build up from that.
Nice point. Good. With the Jackson in particular, the site selection on the Jackson, is that what we want to talk about? Or the actual application process? Yeah.
Well, mine was kind of unique because I actually found the Ramsey County Mental Health Court internship opportunity, the Ramsey County Mental Health Court internship opportunity on their website, and then it was also posted on our school's like employment website through Career Services. So I just contacted them, actually had to interview with them, and then interviewed with the program, and then I actually left for study abroad. But I do think that is a good commentary on you know, individuals who may be studying abroad next semester, and I highly encourage you to make all necessary contact with the site visits that you're most interested in, because you won't find out about the Jackson Fellow decision until January or early February. So just do that ahead of time, because once you're abroad, you never know what's going to happen. So,
as far as the application process for the Jackson Fellowship, you submit a cover letter, a resume, and then, yep, there's information over there. And then you have some people are called back for an interview before they make the decision. I also wrote, as far as if you want to participate in one of the 2 sites in Brookings, South Dakota, in one of the 2 sites in Brookings, South Dakota, there is an extra 1-page essay to write explaining why you want to work at the Children's Museum of South Dakota, or the second site's going to be a multi-generational care center. So if you're interested in one of those, it's just an extra page as to why you're interested in that, but it's an easy way to decide where to go. And it's also just a really wonderful site. So.
Yeah, the reason we have 2 sites in Brookings is because the donors of the Jackson program work with these 2 particular sites in Brookings and would want some interns in Brookings. So someone said it earlier, if you get a Jackson Fellowship, you really are in the driver's seat. Same thing with the Brandel Scholarship. Because you're getting that, you're getting paid separate and apart from your site. You're walking in as a top-tier student who's willing and able to work full-time all summer. It's a bit different than applying to the DC programs or the DC sites where you're applying with 50, 60 other, maybe more students, grad students, law students, and whatnot. So a little different, but it's also a lot of work to get into, or to get selected to the Brandel and Jackson. So, yeah. Maybe we have time for maybe 1, 2 more questions, and then we'll open it up free for all.
So I also had an internship and a job opportunity, research opportunity rather. Oh, thanks. In the past couple of years, but I was wondering, I know this is geared towards sophomores and juniors. Maybe it was just my imagination. I thought I saw something about seniors coming, and I was wondering if anyone could comment on, as far as being a political science major, if the seniors up there, what are you doing after you graduate? What does the McCarthy Center do for its seniors who are looking to secure internships, volunteer opportunities, or jobs after they graduate, especially students who have spent time building their resumes with these sort of internships? Just a question.
Well, I myself am applying to graduate school, but I do not know if I get accepted what I will be doing next summer. So I would be very interested in hearing more about those opportunities from the McCarthy Center.
$9.99 a month, you get consulting for the rest of your life. There's no formal post-senior program per se. We do have a mentor program in the McCarthy Center. Maybe you participate in that. And we have students who have graduated who continue to work with their mentors and expand their networks as close as they know. I'm not sure, Anna, if you participated in that in the past. You might have last year, but maybe not. But yeah, and there's no formal program for postgraduate folks who participate.
I didn't figure there was a formal program, but maybe some sort of slightly informal organization of alumni or students who get together and talk about some of the organizations or populations.
Well, December 1st, I think it is, we have the 6th annual Polydazzle reception. And attend that. There'll be about 100 people there. About 70 alums.
Great food. Awesome food.
Let's wrap it up there. We have plenty of time. You can check out the Jackson posters, which we didn't really talk about why they have posters, but every fall there's a poster session, Putnam Gretzky Center. And anyway, let's give a round of applause. And there's more information on the St. Ben's Jackson program and the Brandel and some other DC and whatnot. Feel free to linger, talk to different people here, and thanks for showing up. Cheers.